Welcome to Really Raha, the podcast for coaches and creators who want to build luxury brands without burning out. I'm Raha, business energetics coach, PhD student, and sponsored skateboarder. I went from serving tables and hustling every client to building six-figure systems and offers that sell in my sleep. Here we talk all things raw when it comes to business strategy, nervous system regulation, and stepping into your goddess frequency with tangible, actionable steps to help you scale to consistent 10K plus months. If you're here, you know freedom is your birthright. Let's get into it.
Hi, my love. I'm so excited to be in your ears today. As you can see, my background has changed. I have a little more privacy in my room, and we're going to be testing this out and seeing how this feels. You can see my baby Chippy right there. I'm so excited to be in your ears today. In this episode, we're really going to get down to business. So this is going to be one of those episodes you can grab a notebook, grab a pen, and I'm going to walk you through the steps to leaving the rat race for good. The 9 to 5, getting out of feeling stuck, not knowing what you're about to do next, and finding your vehicle for what that is, which is high ticket sales. And spoiler alert, you do not need to build a business. So we're going to walk through 5 steps that I've outlined, and I think you're going to walk away with so freaking much. So let's get into it. So I was so inspired to make this episode by those of you who want to leave the 9 to 5, want to leave serving tables, but you don't necessarily want to build a business yet. It's like maybe someday down the line, okay, I'll build a business, but for now, I just want to get out of the hustle. I just want to get out of the grind and the unalignment and the working with people I don't want to work with and working with a boss that just does not get me. I'm done with just wishing my life away Monday through Friday. I'm done with not being able to work remote and travel and take calls from anywhere. So this is for that girly right here. And I share this because I was on the other side of this. I was serving tables for over half my life, just going from fine dining restaurant to fine dining restaurant and hoping that one of those restaurants would be my ticket to make me so much tips that I would finally have the life that I want. And eventually I got to the point and realized after all these restaurants I worked at in LA, I was like, there is not a restaurant that is going to break this ceiling for me because it is in the blue pill world. And you hear me talk about the blue pill world, the red pill world. Think of the blue pill world as the matrix, the rat race, the 9 to 5, the ceiling. There are limits. Whereas the red pill world, there are no limits. There are no bounds. You're not trading your time for money. Whereas the blue pill world, you're trading your time for money. And although I was getting tips, I was still capped at the length of time that my skill set would make me money. Whereas the red pill world, you could have the same skill set, same sales skill set, and the more you get good at it, the more money you make. And it's way more compounding and exponential than the blue pill world. So I'm going to walk through and really dive into what those steps are from A to Z. Because at least for me, when I was serving tables, I just sit here and I remember the nights I would just look at the moon and just say, like, when am I finally going to have the life that I want? When am I finally going to escape this hustle, escape this place where I just didn't belong here? I was working with people that I wouldn't hang out with on a typical basis. I was wearing my heart on my sleeve and trying not to get fired because I didn't want to roll my eyes the next customer that yelled at me. And I just had to bite my tongue because I don't like when people tell me what to do. I would just take frequent breaks. Like at the very end, it just got to the point where I would just go to the walk-in at least once a shift and just cry because I just was so miserable. And I remember looking at my assistant manager and I was like, I cry every day now. And he's like, yep, me too. And I was like, why does it have to be like this? Like, we're just going to do this until we're 65. And then by the time we retire, we're barely going to have any money in our 401k and not be able to give back. And by that point, how much life do we even have left? So it started to make less and less sense. Not to mention, like if you're a server like me, I would work 8-hour shifts, grind so hard that I would forget to take a break, forget to drink water, and I would be hospitalized once a year for kidney stones. It was so bad. And that's not to say I wasn't grateful for the places I've worked. I am so, so, so grateful. But God, I think the most important thing to me was I didn't want to have to say goodbye to my animals for 8 hours a day anymore. I didn't want to look at my dog's face and say, Mommy will be back home later. God, that makes me tear up. Because when Oreo passed away, I looked at him and I said, like, I did it. Because that was my goal. I wanted to be able to spend the last days, the last years with my senior animals and be there during those last days because he needed me every minute to take care of him. He needed the money that I could spend on him to get him the treatment that I got him. And because of that, I got to extend his life more than I could have if I was a server. I got to spend those last moments and hold him and literally watch him take his last breath. And same with my cat, Nietzsche, who passed away last year. So as you can tell, like, this means a lot to me because we do this for time. It's like, yeah, money's great. It's a great feeling to have all the money that we've wanted and buy everything we want. But it's the time for me. And I think it's the time for you too. And it's the energy. And it's the fact that we're women and we're being stuffed in a structure that was built for men. Our hormonal cycle, the 28-day cycle, does not fit with the 24-hour cycle that the blue pill world was built on. Think blue pill world is built around that masculine structure. Red pill, there's no bounds. You could work from home. You could work in Europe. You could take calls whenever you want. So it supports you. You don't have to push through your period. I hated having to do that. I hated having cramps so bad that I would just have to force myself and go run around like 20 to 30,000 steps a shift. And I would just like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to think about it. But it's like, is that the life we want to live until we're 65? So I want this to get to the point for you where it just makes no sense anymore. It just makes so much, it makes no sense anymore to do this. Especially us as women, we're so intuitive. We're so intuitive. And what happens when we're in the grind and moving too quickly, that doesn't just turn off when we clock out. Because then we get home and then we rush through the shower. We're like scrubbing ourselves with a loofah, moving all fast. Then we go brush our teeth and we're just brushing like it's a contest. It's like, why am I still moving fast? Well, because your baseline frequency is the hustle, is the moving quickly, is those alpha brainwaves all the time. So whenever we want to slow down, get in a meditative theta state, our body doesn't think it's safe because it thinks the safe is the cortisol that is used to pumping in our bodies when we're moving and hustling. And if we're spending 40 hours a week in that frequency, that now becomes our baseline frequency. Or there's the baseline frequency of being able to have slow mornings. I don't know if you're like me, but I have ADHD and I've done a lot of mental rewiring to not have to take any medications like I have in the past. And one of the things that really did it for me of being able to focus and be still was A, leaving that structure, leaving that world, but B, being able to have slow mornings. Being able to have a 2-hour slow morning. I wake up, I don't look at my phone. I go straight outside. I meditate. I listen to the birds. I listen to the Beatles. I pull my tarot card. I have a high frequency morning that sets the pace for my day. Now, I want to ask you, how high frequency is your morning being in the rat race? Regardless if your shift is at 9 a.m. or at 2 p.m. Because even if it's at 2 p.m., you're spending all day, I know this, you're thinking about work later. It's like, what can I actually do in the morning that won't make me late to work? And you're not actually present. So we actually get robbed of the day, even if we work later. And then you get off work and it's way too late to do anything. You just come home and go to bed. You do that for 5 days a week and we repeat. And that's why we call it the rat race. It's just a race for what? So I want this episode to give you the I'm done moment. Enough is enough, because what I'm going to walk you through is honestly not that hard. The hardest part is you believing that this is possible for you. I can sit here and say that it's possible for you because I've done this. I leaped from my serving job. I sold high ticket as soon as I leaped, and I made $100K my first year. And then even more than that my second year. I could tell you this because I see women in my life that I train have these wins. But at the end of the day, I want you to believe that this is possible for you too. That's the hard part. Reprogramming the blue pill mindset into the red pill one, to be limitless instead of to have a limit. That's the biggest shift. That's going to be the hard shift. Doing the things is just one foot in front of the other. And you don't even have to build a business. Like, that's the beauty of this. So having the ability to sell someone else's high ticket offer instead of selling your own grants you freedom that you don't have to show up and do marketing. You don't have to make content. So I'm going to walk through these 5 steps, and I want you to set an intention right here, right now. You can close your eyes, and I want you to set an intention for how you want to receive the information in this podcast episode. Maybe it's, I am ready to receive more. I'm open to receive more. I'm curious to receive more. I'm so excited to hear what I'm about to hear. Like, what is that intention that you can lock in? And every time your mind is like, oh, I don't believe this true, can you snap back? It's one of my techniques. It's called the anchor technique. It's snap back. I'll go through that in another episode. But for the purposes of this, let's just stay locked into that intention. And the snapping helps you be aware that your mind just went somewhere else. So step 1 is we want to believe this is possible for us, and we want to prep our body to receive more capacity, more identity. When I was in this moment where you are right now, you know that you want to go the high ticket sales route. Whether you are in that leap transition of the I'm done moment, I'm taking that first step right now, or whether you took that step, got training, and now you're in that place of, I need to find an aligned client that I resonate with, that I can sell their offer for them. Wherever you are, you have your version. I lock into future gratitude. When I was in my I'm done moment, before I sold high ticket and I knew that was the route that I wanted to go, I would say things like, I'm so grateful that I get to wake up and live my life my way. Future gratitude. Your brain doesn't know the difference. This is so powerful. Like, we talk about strategy all day, but if you know me, the nervous system, the identity work, that's 80 to 90% of the work. This is the foundation to sales. If you are not receiving this when you consume sales training information, it will not land. It will be on a rocky foundation. Imagine a house that's built on an unstructured base, and it's like a little rocky. It's a little unstructured. Like, it's not solid. So we need this to be solid, and we want to prep our body for this to be solid. What is your future gratitude? For me, I would walk around my block over and over. I would look at the moon and be like, I'm so grateful that I'm not a server anymore. I'm so grateful that I have my slow mornings. I'm so grateful that I get to choose the people that I work with. Feel it like it's a memory about to happen, like it already happened. I'm telling you, your brain does not know the difference. Bonus points, close your eyes and visualize it. Visualize it like a memory that already happened, and that you're no longer serving tables. You're no longer waking up at 7 a.m. and looking in the mirror and like, I got to go to work. I got to go work for a boss I really don't want to work for. I got to be around people I don't want to work for. It's like, nope. I'm so grateful that I have freedom to live my life my way, where I don't have to listen to anyone. I don't have to request time off or vacation. I don't have to request a lunch break when I want to go have my lunch. It's like, I know you want freedom. I know you want the ability to be able to tell yourself, I am in control of my life. I get to hang out with my kids when I want to. So lock into that right now as if it already happened. This is why this is step 1. Because so often we blame strategy when really it's a matter of regulating our identity to continue to receive more. One of my calls in my group program for women that want to learn sales is sales and energetics. And in there, We answer sales questions, we do sales, but it's also the energetics. So we do a little energetics exercise in the beginning. We do movement, we do a meditation, because we want to get into the feminine energy before getting in the masculine, all the strategy, all the frameworks. It's like we want to prep our body first. And the blue pill world does not teach you how to do that. Think of how long it took before Eastern medicine. Still to this day, it's still taboo to even think about things like acupuncture and meditation. It's still like there's still stigma. Now, depends where you live. I'm in California, so it's a little different. Like it's more accepted here, but people still call it woo woo. So it has a stigma, and it's pushed us away from knowing that this is actually fundamental. Like we cannot learn sales, we cannot learn strategy if we have not prepped our body to receive it. And I know you value intuition. I know you value energy work. I know you know how powerful it is to be in sync with the universe, where it feels like you're hitting all the green lights. Nervous system work makes you feel like you're hitting all the green lights with the universe, like you're constantly on time. Because if our nervous system is in fight or flight, if it's in survival mode, like it is when we are working a 9 to 5, it's not prioritizing being on time. It's prioritizing you staying alive, because it thinks your 9 to 5 job is a bear. It does not know the difference. It feels unsafe for your body to constantly be in a cortisol pumping state. We weren't meant for that. We were meant for the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system to heighten whenever we see a predator, whenever we see danger. But if that is our baseline, and we're not doing nervous system work and prepping and moving forward and bringing in more alignment, what's the point? In my opinion, we're just aging ourselves, because we're not going to live as long as we want to live if we're constantly in danger, constantly thinking that we're in danger. So I can't stress enough. Like if you know me, I'm a sales and energetics trainer. I teach you both. Step 2, get sales training and learn how to lead one call. Babe, this is the one call you ever have to master. Think of being in school and you have one test. Let's say the SAT. It's like, just get really good at one call. And this needs to be advanced. I know there's a lot of sales training out there that's like teaches you the basics, but when we get to step 3 and we talk about finding an aligned client that you can sell for, they're looking for girls who are getting advanced training. So we'll get into that. But as far as like advanced training, this means programs that are teaching you NLP, that are going those layers deep. Because sales is becoming more advanced, the clients with the highest offers and resonance are ones that have high expectations for how you lead the call. Offer owners look for that. So if you're in that place where you're like, why have I not landed a role? Why have I not gotten an offer yet? Why is no one responding to my DMs when I outreach them? Well, there's first off so many factors at play. We'll get into step 3, but I would first look at what kind of training did I get? And it's not like, oh, this is a popular training, everyone knows this person. It's the depth of the work. Did you learn how to pre-handle objections halfway through the call so that they don't become objections at the end of the call? Did you get what that objection was going to be? Did you still have trust with them while you did that, so that when you do get to the money conversation later, it's just revisiting, it's just an extension? And did you go enough layers deep when handling the objections? You know, it's really easy to think that the objections are the reason why the call didn't close. But what I teach my girls is all the upstream issues that was not even taken into consideration, starting from the top of the call. How well was the frame held? Did you collect checkpoints instead of asking questions? I can't believe how many sales programs are still teaching scripts, unfortunately. And that's how we cook prospects. So in my Radiance framework, there's checkpoints of, did I get this tangible problem? Did I get this desired state? Did I get this reality? So that we don't have to ask questions that we got answers for. So this is how calls can run 30 to 45 minutes instead of an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you've been having those long calls and you're like, okay, now I got to figure out how to reschedule the one after. And then we just feel like we're behind all day. So it really is having an efficient call, and offer owners really look for that. So you really don't have to do anything else besides being able to lead that call. And I bet you in your current 9 to 5, you have a million hats that you're wearing and all these expectations. But to get sales training and sell someone else's offer for them, you just need to know one call. And as I said before, you don't need to have a business. You don't need to make content. You don't even need a public Instagram if you don't want to. You don't need to market, nothing. You just show up and you close the call from anywhere you want. And the framework that I teach, the Radiance framework, I closed a 24K client in 30 minutes with this framework. It's pure gold. So make sure that whatever sales program you join, it feels ethical, it feels good, and it's advanced. Step 3, find a coach who's already selling a high ticket offer. This is the owner. This is the offer owner. This is your client. You will have value in the skills you learn that you can close those calls, and they're looking at that skill set. You are an asset. My partner, Mike, he was on another offer setting for him. It was a real estate offer, and I snatched him and I brought him into my business because I recognized how much of an asset he is, and he's my DM setter now. Clients want closers who are assets because they're in it for the long game. They don't want to keep having to rehire people and see if this person's going to be a good fit. They want someone that is qualified, not certified, like qualified, that learns advanced sales. And you don't need to be on multiple offers. In fact, I do not recommend it, because not only energetically are you scattering your time and energy, but when we go all in on one offer that makes us good money, gives us time back, that's all you need. And the beauty about this is you don't need to do cold calling. You don't need to do DMs. Now, if you're in this place where you're like, okay, I still haven't found an aligned client, I feel stuck here. What do I change? What do I do? Well, first off, the program that you sign up for, if it's not helping you in your leadership skills and how you can outreach and track your response rates, like, do you have a tracker that you're tracking response rates for each DM that you send? Have you gotten third eye perspective on your Loom video that you're constantly tweaking depending on those response rates? Is your mock call showing those layers deep of the NLP reframes in being able to isolate and reframe and get the buy-in, the consequence, and the commitment? These are things that offer owners look for. And if we're not getting this in the sales program, if it's like some add-on or something extra, run, because what's the point? What's the point of not having that support to help you with what happens when you go out in the real world? It's like going to college and learning the classes and then be like, oh, you're all on your own now. It's like, can I have the support on what it's like to outreach offer owners? That's why I have my partner Mike in Revenue Room 2, because this is what he did. Not only does he teach DMs in the group, but anything tracking related, we give you our tracker. Like, this is real stuff. This isn't like fluffy, smoky, maybe this will get a response. It's like we reverse engineer what responses you're going to have. Not to mention tracking in general, tracking all of your calls, who you're taking your calls with, reverse engineering. Hey, I want to make a 20K month. Okay, this is how many calls I need because of my show rate and my close rate. So it becomes math. So just because we're in the red pill world, it doesn't mean that we're just floating in outer space with no structure. So make sure that the sales program that you're in really has that structure to set you up for success. Another thing, are you constantly practicing mock calls and getting that practice in? So it's not just, oh, I went to the gym, I worked out, and I'm not really going to practice that much anymore. I'll just count on the actual sales calls themselves. Well, what if we're practicing the wrong things? And I want to reassure you that there are no shortage of programs that you can sell. The coaching industry is about to exceed $25 billion in 2026. So if you're in a place where you're still in your job and you're like, okay, what do I do? I just want you to know that there is a clear path for you in this career change because you already have the skill set. You know how to sell. You know how to read people. You know how to feel energy. You're just in the wrong industry. That simple. There's another industry that meets your values, that helps you live a values-aligned life, that is ready for you. So get sales training, advanced sales training, get on an offer to sell for with an aligned client that you resonate with. Step 4, sell the offer for them and make 10 to 20% commission. That means up to $1K to $2K per sale goes to you. I mean, think about it this way. These are coaches that have so many sales calls in their calendar of people that want to join their programs. Maybe they have ads running, maybe their organic content is popping off, whatever it is. There are millions and millions and millions of coaches that have way too many sales calls on their calendar. So they hire closers, sales reps to lead those calls for them. And they're like, hey, thank you for taking this call for me. Thank you for closing it. Thank you for getting somebody into my program for me. I want to give you a commission. And their offers, average offers, are between 5 to 10K. And I said before, I closed a 24K call. So the more advanced you get, the more offer owners are going to want to put you on higher offers. Imagine a 10 to 20% commission on a 24K offer, even just 5 to 10K. So let's do the math. So one offer at 5K, let's underball this, 10% commission, 5 calls a day. Let's say you have a 20% close rate, and 20% is actually pretty low. This is the close rate that the girls come into my program with, and we get that up to like 50, 60, 70. That's one call close a day, 1 out of 5, 20%. 5 days a week, that's 1K a day, 5K a week, that's 20K a month. So I want to show you, and that's just lowballing it. This is how you see all those women on Instagram actually making money like this. And it's not taking you 10 hours a day to do this either. Imagine what it would took you to make 1K in your 9 to 5. And I'm not just talking about time. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about time away from your family. Is that worth it? Or would you rather go to Switzerland, go to a coffee shop, go get a private space, close one of these calls, then you're in Berlin the next day, then you're in Italy the next day? It's like, isn't that the life that you want? Or do you just want to stay at home, not travel as much because you have animals like me, and you want to be able to be with them all day? I get to be with my babies all day. And that really soothes the guilt that I used to have. Oh, that guilt was eating me up. Like, I'm barely seeing my babies. What am I doing? So think of the math, if anything. Like, I'm a big math girly. I don't know if you know this about me. I'm a PhD student, and I like to look at how things actually add up. And if you were to do the math and the trajectory of where you are right now, are you going to get to the point, or what's it going to take for you to get to the point where you can not only buy your dream house by the beach, look up in the sky and see palm trees, but you can buy a house for your family? You can finally give back to the people that supported you on your journey, the ones who gave you money when they didn't have it, just so that you could succeed, so that you could win, so that you could live your life. Don't you want to give back to them? Don't you want to give back to the bigger world? I want to make so much money that I can feed people. Tony Robbins inspired that for me. That's what he does. I want to give money to animal charities. So what is that big why? What is that mission for you? And do the math. Step 5, consistently practice every week with mocks. I mentioned this a little bit before. We don't want to be practicing the wrong thing over and over without guidance and wondering why our skill set has stayed stagnant or we got out of the energy. The thing about the red pill world, the responsibility is on you to get better, to refine your skill set. Because the more that you refine your skill set, the faster you can leap in the red pill world. 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K offers. These are all existing. Believe me, I know you're probably like, is that really true? What did we say in step 1? Yes, this is true. I have been in this space for 3 years. This is true. I see it every day. This is just an industry that you may not have completely tapped into understanding. So look at your steps in front of you and ask yourself, what is one thing I can do right now? One thing I can do right now to take those steps. And even with these steps, this beats any 9-to-5 job if you ask me. Okay? And I have some really exciting news before we wrap up this episode. I just opened up my doors in Revenue Room, my group program for sales, to sales reps. So it's in beta, which is honestly insane. Anytime you hear me talk about a beta, you've heard me say this, hop in, because you will never see anything like this again. Revenue Room is where you learn sales, where you learn the leadership, authority, and outreach strategies to get on an aligned offer, to have an aligned client, to practice mocks, to get a tracker, to reverse engineer your dream life, to look at response rates when you do look for aligned clients. So you're not just looking on Instagram feeds and looking at this person's ad, like what is the actual strategy to your outreaching? I don't believe that a sales program should not teach this part. This needs to be part of it. This is Revenue Room. And I could sit here and talk to you about it all day, but honestly, the only thing I need to say to you is it is in beta. There's already 5 women in there, coaches that have seen massive success, one of which made $14K in 2 weeks. Our framework works. Our framework, our Radiance framework is literally pure gold. And I want to share it with you. I want to help you leave the rat race from A to Z. If you're still in your serving job, if you're still working for a boss, this is perfect for you because you don't even have to leave the job. You don't even have to quit yet. Let it invest in you while you build this life. Within 3 months, when you follow the steps, when you follow the system and you put one foot in front of the other, you will be an unrecognizable version of yourself. I say that with confidence. I say that because all of my clients, all of my students, everyone in my orbit succeeds. So I wouldn't be saying that to you if I didn't believe this was possible for you. So shoot me a DM if you have any questions. I'll pop a link in the show notes as well. So you can book a call with me and let's just see if it's an aligned fit. And if it's not an aligned fit, I'm going to tell you. I like the success rate that I have in my programs. And if I feel like I can't help you, you bet I'm going to be in integrity and be honest with you. So you literally have nothing to lose. If you're in that I'm done moment, I'm so excited to get you out of the rat race and enhance the skill set that you already have. Wow, what a great episode. Oh my gosh. I hope you walked away with some golden nuggets. I'm curious what landed for you. Send me a DM of your biggest breakthrough from this episode. I want to see who's listening. I want to see what you're taking from this. But it's been so beautiful to sit here and reflect on my time as a server and my journey and give you solid steps to leaving the rat race for good. This is your ticket. I love you so much, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
If this episode resonated with you in any way, if something clicked, expanded, or shifted for you, I'd love for you to share it and tag me on Instagram @RadiantRahaf so I can celebrate your breakthroughs with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe and leave a 5-star review so more high-level coaches like you can find this space. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.